Welcome to another episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean, and I figured I'd jump on here just to kind of respond to a few people from my last episode. We did a poll on there about the anticipation of Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Majority of the poll felt that AJ would win. So let me go to this poll real quick. And get it accurate. Okay, so we had so far 65% of people said AJ wins, 35% say Tyson Fury wins. I'm in that 65%. I always felt that stylistically AJ would be problematic for Tyson Fury because styles make fights. And when I look at the type of fighters and style of fighters they fought, it seems like you can almost make the case that Tyson Fury, he would struggle not only with a puncher, but he struggles with a puncher that he can't bully. Now, with Wilder being a puncher, Wilder, although he can really punch, he doesn't have the strongest foundation. Hence, when Tyson Fury went to the crunk boxing style after the first draw, when they rematched, if you remember, the game plan wasn't to box Wilder, it was to actually fight Wilder. So he pushed him on the back foot. He came very aggressive, and he was throwing, a lot of power shots. Now, he tried that same strategy that he tried this. He tried to employ the same strategy that he used on Wilder rematch when he fought Francis Ngannou, and that strategy did not work. Go back and look at that fight again. Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. You will see Tyson Fury trying to lean on Ngannou. You'll see him trying to rough him, rough tactics and all that. It did not work. You're dealing with an MMA fighter. So every time he tried any little thing, Francis Ngannou would just pretty much push him right off. Besides dropping him, you could see that it was kind of frustrating for Fury. So what Fury did, he went from being a crunk style fighter that was on the front foot to the old Fury that we saw versus Vlad Klitschko. The back foot, you know, pot shot, pot shot, pot shot, move around, move around. He wasn't really trying to go for a knockout with Francis Ngannou. Once he realized he couldn't really hurt him, then he kind of made adjustments and started to box. So when he fights Anthony Joshua, the way I see it, it will look a lot like Tyson Fury versus Vlad Klitschko many, many years ago. You're going to have a Tyson Fury using that irky jerky style, and he's going to try to evade the power of Anthony Joshua. He's going to want to stick and move. He's going to want to clinch. If they get in real close range, so he doesn't catch an uppercut mid-range or close, he's going to try to clinch as much as he can. And he's going to try to fight him pretty long, keep the jab going. But even with the jab Fury has, if he's not really sitting down on his punches, will it be enough effect to make Anthony Joshua respect it? Don't get me wrong, AJ can be hurt. So I don't want to sound biased. AJ can definitely be hurt. We saw him hurt by Andy Ruiz in the first fight. We saw him a little shaken up when he fought Dillian White, although he eventually knocked out Dillian White. We saw AJ have a tough time with Povetkin, who busted his nose. I think broke Anthony Joshua's nose. So we kind of see where AJ has his issues. You see him struggle with Takam, the shorter guys, Carlos Takam, Andy Ruiz, Povetkin. Not to say he didn't have a tough fight with Vlad Klitschko, but I think stylistically he struggles more with guys that are shorter than him. Usyk, somebody who's shorter, somebody who's smaller, who can move around, gave gave him issues, gave AJ issues. Now, with Tyson Fury being taller, he doesn't have to punch downward. I think he kind of struggles punching downward, fighting the shorter opponent. But with Tyson Fury being somebody he's looking up at, because he's about maybe 2, 3 inches taller, that'll be actually better for him if Anthony Joshua can find his range. Once he can find his range, it could be problems. Now, he would definitely not want to start off in round 1, 2, and 3 doing too much. Round 1 is going to probably be that fill out round, but he definitely needs to go tapping to the body. Keep tapping Tyson Fury to his body as much as you can. That would be the key to victory for Anthony Joshua, in my opinion. Please hit the thumbs up. Is keep tapping him to the rib cage, to the liver, wherever you can get in that long frame and torso of Tyson Fury. Keep digging in, keep digging in, keep digging in. Oh, and just so I say this as well, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Whether you're a Tyson Fury fan or whether you're an AJ fan, whether you're a Wilder fan, Frank Sanchez, whoever may be a heavyweight, that's cool. We just here to lay down our perspectives, and every opinion will be respected as long as a person comes respectful. Just make sure whatever you say is in a respectful manner. And I will try to give you a shout out as long as it's respectful. So back to what I was saying, is that AJ, he has power, and he has power in both hands, whereas Wilder was trying to land that one right hand punch. AJ is going to be using that left jab as a piston, as a weapon, and it's going to keep Tyson Fury off balance. You know what I'm saying? Keep him off balance with his left lead jab. Keep sticking it out there. Now, Tyson Fury, of course, being the slicker, more, slicker foot boxer, tall, he can move for his size. He's going to do a lot of slipping punches, good upper body movement, good head movement. He might even get in there and try to showboat some. Knowing Tyson Fury, knowing how he does. So I see it as a really, really good matchup, though. But like I said, the way that Francis Ngannou pretty much came in there, and you can't respect Tyson too much either. That's the thing about AJ. If he fights him, he cannot respect Tyson too much. The thing about Ngannou is he didn't look at it like Tyson Fury, this big this big boxer who has all these attributes and all these skills and a high level IQ and all that. And Ngannou went in there trying to destroy his opponent, which was Tyson Fury. AJ has to go in there with that same instinct. He can't respect him too much, and he has to just go in there. Now, he can't be reckless now. He can't just be reckless and punching that air and swinging wild, because if he does stuff like that, Tyson Fury will capitalize, and Tyson Fury will catch him with some counter punches. So he has to be very, very, very strategic in the way that he does, the way he lands his punch placement. It has to be very methodical and very well put together combinations when it comes to Anthony Joshua. Now, Fury, being that he has the lesser power of both guys, please hit the thumbs up, y'all. Please hit the thumbs up. Being that Fury has the lesser punch power, but he pretty much has more of the overall skill set between these two guys. He's going to have to use what he knows that he has. He's going to have to use his footwork. He's going to have to go on the back foot some. But I feel like if he's on the back foot and trying to punch, his power is not going to be as effective. You know what I'm saying? Because you're on the back foot, so those pot shots to me are not going to be as effective to really make AJ slow down. AJ will slow down if he's caught with something, or if Tyson hits him, maybe sitting down on a certain punch, or catches him with a lot of momentum and body weight behind a punch, and he's like, oh, okay, Tyson Fury hits a lot harder than what I expected. You know what I'm saying? Uh, El Guapo, you said Fury chin is suspect. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming here to check me out, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. Some people say that, man. Now I'm gonna be fair. Some people say Fury has a suspect chin, but some people say the same thing about Anthony Joshua. That's what makes this fight an intriguing fight, because both guys have shown vulnerability. Both guys have been to the canvas. I want to say Tyson Fury has been dropped 7 or 8 times in his full career. Anthony Joshua has been dropped about 8 times by two opponents. 4 times by Ruiz and like 4 times by Dubois. So you got two guys who's been dropped roughly 8 times in their career. It'll be a good fight. And also I wanna also talk about the fact is you really can't base the performance of Anthony Joshua, and shout outs to Jab Queen, shout outs to Cam J. Because Jab Queen made a good point, and I was kind of talking about the same thing in a boxing group. It's like you can't look at the performance of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, because Jake Paul was not there to go to fight in the phone booth. He was not there standing on business for real. He wasn't there like Ngannou thinking that, hey, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to test the chin of Anthony Joshua. He pretty much went straight in from the beginning bell and went on his bicycle. Now, we have to make a distinction between running and the sweet science of boxing. Running is what you pretty much saw in the Jake Paul versus AJ fight. The sweet science is what you saw with old fights with Muhammad Ali clips, or what you see with Sugar Ray Leonard. Sweet science can be even Tyson Fury. I'm not necessarily a fan, but you have seen the sweet science with Tyson Fury. So what I'm trying to say is you can't be running around the perimeter of a huge ring with with an extra low punch output, and you're doing more defensively moving to where you're not even letting your hands go, and you're falling to the floor like Jake Paul. You're falling and flopping on the ground because You're worried about your opponent landing that power shot on you. And that's what it was. He was very respectful of the fact that he knew if AJ lands clean and flush, I could go to sleep. I could get knocked out. And Tyson Fury knew this. That's why he moved around the ring like he did in that match. Now, like I said, a person who's a defensive first fighter, who's a scientific fighter, they're going to be a kind of like on a somewhat of a 50-50. They're going to move around a lot, but they're going to dish out a lot as well. A prime example was the Ramirez fight with Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo was using his boxing style, but even though he was moving, he was landing a lot, And when you do those numbers, you kind of can see the the punch stats, the punch output, the total amount of punches in the whole fight, the punches per round. Look at Usyk. He's another one that's a prime example of the sweet science of hit and don't get hit. That's the part we must put in quotes. Hit and don't get hit is the sweet science of boxing. What Jake what Jake Paul did in the ring was not the sweet science of boxing. What William Scold did when he fought Canelo Alvarez, that was not the sweet science of boxing. When these guys are in there and their main objective and their mindset is to run around the ring and to not let their hands go, but every blue moon throw a few punches here and there, that is not the sweet science of boxing. People are getting it confused, and we have to speak on this because it's not cool for a person to do what Jake Paul did, and people are fans and people like, paying their money or whatever, and it's like you're in there just to survive and just to milk the boxing the boxing division and to get a check. I mean, sure, it did great numbers. It did a lot of views. It was on Netflix. I understand that, but Jake Paul definitely he didn't satisfy what the fans had wanted to see. Now, am I saying that you have to go in there and just act crazy and just be in there like a war, like a Holyfield versus Riddick Bowe? I wouldn't expect that from somebody in the beginning stages like a Jake Paul. I wouldn't expect for him to be like a Holyfield, stepping into a bigger Bowe, which is AJ, to the bigger man that outweighs you by 35 or 40 pounds. I don't expect for you to go toe to toe, but you can at least be moving around and throwing some shots. You know what I'm saying? Throw some 2 and 3 punch combinations, and then move around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Not just run, and then once you're cornered and you have to swing, then you throw one punch, and then you're back on your bike again. It's like, come on, man. This is not the sweet science of boxing and stuff like that. If it's, happening, more than enough, that's going to hurt the sport of boxing. That's going to make the sport of boxing look bad. Although I think collectively, the sport of boxing, if we look outside of the heavyweight division, there's still a lot of good things going on. A lot of good things starting to brew in the, smaller weight classes. You still got some good fighters out there. You still got Richardson Hitchens, at 140. You got Keyshawn Davis. You got Pitbull Cruz. You got Lamont Roach. You have Frank Martin, So you have a lot of good fighters at 140-pound division. So there's still a lot of good fights that can happen in the mix down there. You still got your guys at 154. You still got your 147 guys. You still got the Mario Barrios fight coming up with Ryan Garcia for the WBC, for Barrios to defend the WBC strap. So it's still some good things going on in other weight classes, and women's boxing is going hard too. So we still got to look forward to the fights that are happening. In fact, I believe Inoue is fighting this weekend. They're gonna have Inoue fighting. So let's check out Inoue because I think they had something on. Yeah, they had the grand arrivals on the zone with Inoue versus Alan Picasso. I'm not too privy on Alan Picasso. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna dig in on his resume and see if there's anybody familiar that I know of on this resume of Alan Picasso. And I believe this will be this Saturday, I believe. Let me see. Okay. All right. So he is David Picasso, 32 wins, 17 KOs, no losses, and one draw. Orthodox, hailing from Mexico, and they will be fighting on the 27th of this month, which should be Saturday. Um, Let me see. Now that's a division. The bantamweights. That's a division that I honestly don't really watch that much. I know the name of Inoue is huge in that division, but I haven't watched a lot of fights in this division. So this is definitely going to be something refreshing this weekend for me to watch. Um, because you figure Inoue is 31, no losses and no draws, and his opponent's going to be 32, no losses with one draw. So, okay, it sounds like the build up of a good fight. Um, so I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. Now, when it comes to his opponents, not to take anything away from them, I don't really watch the super bantamweight a whole lot, so I'm not really familiar with some of his opponents. But the opponent that he fought last of this year, his last name is, I believe you pronounce it, Kameda, starts with a K, Kameda. He won a majority decision over him, and Picasso won the fight prior to that by knockout. So yeah, he has a high knockout TKO ratio. So yeah, that's something to look forward to this weekend. If you're just chilling or whatever, you want to watch some boxing, Inoue versus Picasso this weekend. But just speaking of boxing in general, women's boxing, Carolyn Dubois, she's the next up and coming lady doing her thing. Of course, you're always gonna have Clarissa Shields, one of the ones that's who I mean, she may have her her set of issues, but she is doing a lot of good things for female boxing. You know, she was the one that was wanting to get three minute rounds for women, um, bigger payouts for women. Um, so she's done a lot for women's boxing. Although, like I said, she might have some antics that certain people don't be feeling or whatever, but she does a lot for women's boxing as well, though. Um, at the same token, so seeing her and Franchon Cruz Dezern is a fight I'm looking forward to um, in February. I'm looking forward to it. Um, and of course, I'm looking forward to Shakur Stevenson versus Tefime Lopez. I've seen a couple interviews recently with Shakur. Um, so it's going to be interesting. A couple of people close to Shakur that are probably like mutual friends of Shakur and Tefime. They say it's going to be a good fight, but they still feel like most of them are they're veering towards Shakur Stevenson being the winner. They say Tefime can give him a tough fight, but they feel like Shakur's ring IQ and ring generalship, um, that he's going to win. So I don't know, man. It's going to be a 50-50 fight. I just hope that it's not a boring fight, that it's not like a Shakur De Los Santos fight. Hopefully, it's more like the Shakur versus Zapata fight, you know. So we will see. And I'm not sure if Devin Haney's going to fight Lewis Crocker next, but I guess we'll see what's going on in that aspect. Ajit Kabiel, he gonna do his thing again here soon with Damian Kimba. So, as I stated before, I definitely feel like Ajit Kabiel is gonna be victorious um, on his next fight. Um, saw an interview earlier with Frank Warren, and he was talking, of course, AJ versus Fury, but saying that Fury, I think, is going to be fighting in like around April. So they're trying to get that fight for him to get a warm up fight or whatever. Meanwhile, I don't know if AJ is going to take one more warm up because they're trying to get their fight, I think, done roughly around September. So um, they don't want AJ getting ring rust. He needs to stay sharp. Um, because I don't want it to be a fight to where if, say, for instance, they did fight right now, they make the fight, just hypothetically, they make Fury versus AJ. I don't want it to be a built-in excuse because I've already seen people saying stuff like, "Oh, Tyson Fury is getting older and this and this," or they're going to say Tyson Fury didn't get a warm-up fight. He was ring rusted, so of course AJ was going to beat him. This, that, and the other. So I'm like, hey, let these guys get a light touch, but make sure they got a quality opponent, but not an opponent to where it's going to be a banana peel. Make sure they get an opponent that's that they should beat. AJ does not need to fight somebody like a Fabio Wardley or even a Dubois rematch right now. It's too risky. He needs to fight Fury first, but he needs to fight, somebody on a maybe a top 50 guy or something like that. Beat them, get his confidence, like a confidence booster. Fight Tyson Fury 2026, which I think he can win. He beats Tyson Fury, confidence once again. Now you got Tyson Fury under your belt. If you beat him, AJ, then he can fight people like Dubois rematch, Fabio Wardley, or Ajit Cabiel, stuff like that. But he needs to make sure he gets Tyson Fury before anything else. And please hit that thumbs up. Because I'm not going to be on here a real long time tonight. And I appreciate everybody who took time to pull up. I'm going to start doing more of these pop ups. I know it's getting close to the Christmas season over here in America. Um, and I gotta work in the morning, so I'm not gonna be up real late. But I wanted to at least get on here and talk a little bit about AJ versus Fury. But I also wanted to kind of touch a little bit on the performance of AJ versus Jake Paul, and the performance of Jake Paul. You know, um, just because he was there as shout out to Jab Queen again. Um, he doesn't get the brownie points just for being a participator in that fight. You know what I'm saying? He didn't actually come to fight and give people their money's worth. So, some people want to give him kudos for that, but some people are not. They're not giving him any kudos for that because they're saying you were just there to collect that check and to survive. So, hey, let me know what y'all feel on that situation with Jake Paul. Do you give him kudos for stepping in the ring with Anthony Joshua, or do you say that for him to step in there and to run around like he did, um, that hey, you're not feeling it and you're not giving him any credit? Let me know in the chat. Also, if you play this one back, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Do me a big favor and go down to the comment section and slide over and hit the hype button. All that is free, um, and it really helps the algorithm get in motion. So wherever you are across the world, I appreciate you. Thanks for your unwavering support. Like I always say, we have the merch. I have a link tree on my social medias, a link tree in the description area below, um, where we got the hats, the hoodies, the shirts, um, and also, like I said in my last segment, and I try to say it every time, do me a big favor. Follow me on Twitter. I'm trying to be on Twitter a lot more involved on Twitter. So please follow my Twitter page. Follow me on TikTok. Those are the two social medias I'm going to be on a lot more. I'm going to still be time to time popping up on Instagram and Facebook, but I'm going to be on my Twitter a lot more and on TikTok. So please follow me there. Um, and that'll be it, y'all. And y'all be safe, and I'll see you on Sunday because I go live every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the USA. So make sure you check out my weekly show every Sunday in the USA at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everyone have a safe holidays, and I will catch you on the next round. Peace.